You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Al Mega, in the building today. Comic Crusaders Podcast. Welcome, one and all. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yo, today, I have an amazing person on the scene. There's a fellow Latino in the building. I mean, this person is a prolific writer and a contributor to many things. This dude has actually been on CNN and The Economist. He's an animal rights activist, yo. I mean, and you could tell this through his comic book creation called CALICO. And we're going to be talking about that, man. The homie is a real dude. He is from my home of New York. He is the BX's own Double HG Hagman.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing, hermano? How you
Thanks
feeling
thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
No. Thanks for coming on, man, and thanks for doing what you do. But this is New York in the building. This is I'm Brooklyn. This is BX. We're gonna rock it up today, bro. So,
right.
Let's get into it. Double H.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah, there ain't no Triple H. He's tougher. This is Double H. It doesn't need an extra H. All right. So talk about it. But so you born and raised in the Bronx?
Yes, born and partly raised. The balance of my upbringing was in the Dominican Republic, San Francisco de Macorís.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. My lady is half DR, half PR, so I get best of both worlds of El Caribe. So you know what I mean?
Right. The best of both worlds, man. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, you know what's up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So okay, wait a minute. So did you start your early life in New York or your latter life in New York?
Both. So I was born in the Bronx, Einstein Hospital, back in the day and back in the 70s. And basically, it was back and forth from the DR to the BX. And as I was telling you before, where I grew up in the BX, I grew up all the way at the end of the 6 train. Okay, the last stop in the Bronx.
Last stop.
And it was little different vibe up there, but hey, we do what we do.
I hear you, man. Especially in that era, we are of the same age range as we discussed. So yeah, man, I hear you. It was tough for us brown skinned kids, no matter how brown, whatever level of brown you were. It wasn't. New York was tough then.
That's exactly right, man. The 70s and 80s, man. You know the deal. And those trains were rolling up into your neighborhood. You don't know what was coming down.
Say word, man. I remember Holly Williams when mommy went to visit my uncle in New York. I mean in Jersey, and I said, "Nah, mama, I'll stay behind." It's only because me and the fellas had some wicked plans. And I don't know, Marlo, bro. My God, bro.
That's it.
Not Marlo, but we're just defending our hood. We couldn't let people try to punk our ass.
Hey, that's what
especially again, it was people that didn't look like us that were trying to, mess with us. And we're not gonna stand for this shit. Don't think otherwise.
Right. That's the vibe. And we'll probably get into that a little later. But things are a little different these days, man. If you didn't look right in a certain neighborhood, that was a problem.
So. Oh yeah, man, absolutely. The wrong colors, wrong clothes, wrong beads. In the back of the 90s. Right. Muchacho. So talk about you in the DR then. So when did you go to DR?
Right. So basically, my first language is Spanish. I was born here, and then about a year in, I was shipped back because both my parents worked in the hospital systems. I just mentioned Einstein Hospital. So both of them, worked in the Bronx hospital. So, grandpa stepped in for a while until I came back when I was 5 years old, speaking only Spanish. So in that neighborhood, okay. So I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, only speaking Spanish, and
oh god,
exactly. So the good thing was Italian is actually kind of similar to Spanish. So I actually got along better with the kids from Italy, that spoke mostly Italian. So I got to learn that language and sort of
connect. The actual kids from Europe because they understood you as a foreigner.
Right. So the Italians were actually more closer to me than the actual Italian Americans. I had more beef with them growing up.
Because
So
Americans, like all Americans, feel privileged sometimes. They want to
right,
talk to you a certain way. Like, yo,
right.
and that's not even right. Like, yo, we're all here to in this together, homies.
Yeah,
Come on
exactly,
now.
exactly. So that's how it started, and rough here and there, and uh, later on, I eventually learned the language. Thank God Sesame Street, right? And Sesame Street, and
One,
books.
two,
There
three.
you go. There you go. And you know what, Al? The other part of my upbringing, English-wise, was comic books.
Oh,
So,
I love it.
that's the
Why
best
was it?
part of it.
Oh,
Right.
I need to know then. Because
Yeah.
part of that origin story is who handed you that first comic book that kind of led you fall in love with it, and what was the first character that you fell in love with?
Al, that's like the best question I've heard, man, in the year and a half that we've been doing this. Let me tell you, we were in the subway. I know it was in Manhattan. I think it was like in somewhere between 96th Street and 125th Street. Remember, they used to have newsstands down there.
Yeah,
And
man, the good old
yep,
days. That's why I used to pick up my Source magazines, the B,
right,
and a couple of Marvel comic magazines. Yeah,
right.
I
You
know what
had
you're talking about.
Raccoon Source, right. And basically, to answer your question, my mother, she reached in and picked
Mama.
up an Avengers issue. Yep. And that it was Avengers. That was back when Vision was heading it.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, so
She
it was
said,
great.
"Toma, shut up, Toma. The
There you
train's coming. Está tranquilo."
there Vision was heading the Avengers, and the comic book was 60 cents. So I remember that.
Love it.
You
Love
know,
it. Love it. Love it. Love
yeah.
it, man. And so did Vision become your first love in comics then because of that?
Yeah, I was intrigued, man. That dude had so many weird colors on him. I always thought that was the weirdest colored outfit. I didn't know what to make of it.
Esto es un
So
payaso for a second.
so I was like, man, this guy's kind of weird. And then at that time, the other Avengers, they were kind of, off too, because, you didn't have like Thor wasn't in there regularly,
Yeah.
or Iron Man was just like in and out kind of thing.
And he
So
had
he was,
different suits all the damn time. Yeah, what the hell? He looked like a square. He looked
right,
round. ¿Qué le pasa, bro?
right. And I think there was a dude named, I don't know if his name was Star Fox.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah, man. A spoiler if you haven't watched
right.
Eternals, but Star Fox shows up.
So, there's all sorts of weird stuff in there. So yeah, I loved it, man. And eventually I learned about Spider-Man, and I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
okay.
this is it right here. He became
That's
my
it.
Spider-Man, my
That's
favorite.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, was it easy to find a tribe then of people that liked what you liked as you were growing up where you were?
Man, you just had some incredible questions, brother. Listen, in the Bronx, you already know the deal. We have dudes that every neighborhood has different respect. Certain neighborhoods, the farther you go upstate, the smarter you are, the more popular you are in that neighborhood. I don't care how smart you are in the Bronx, you're not going to be popular. Okay, so the geeks
Yeah,
were
yeah.
the ones who read more comic books where we were from, and the dudes who were always fighting, they were into other stuff. Now I was sort of a hybrid. I was good in school and I was good, on the street with my hands, right? So, but I love my comic books. So I was the guy who could fight, who was helping all the nerds and geeks in my neighborhood,
Yeah,
So
but I love it. You
yeah,
and me have the same journey because in school I would defend the little nerds that were getting picked on because
there
look at me, but I'm a fucking big ass nerd myself. So
you
it's
go.
like don't pick on them. It's because they like what they like. I like that shit too, motherfucker.
Right,
So
there you
anyway,
go.
don't don't.
That's it. That's what's
And,
up,
and the first question I would ask though, before I would do anything, I would ask the person is, without looking at the person picking on them, is everything okay? And they would look at me, no, and that's either yes or no. Yeah,
Wow.
everything's cool. Back, all right, I'll leave. If it was no, it's like no hesitation. I mean, I
Wow.
wasn't trying to be a dick, but like, at the same time, it's I want you to feel as powerless as you make them feel. Sometimes,
Right. Right.
I'm not a big dude by chance, and I probably could get beat up by a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I'm always gonna stand my fucking ground. And
There
so
you
long as
go.
I stand my ground, you're gonna respect me.
There you go. And that's the thing about the Bronx. When you got that coraje, that inner rage that you get from coming from a place where the
We're Latinos, we're hotheads, bro. Firestorm should have been like I always say, Firestorm should have been a Latino, bro.
yeah. That's what's up, and like you had a good screening process. That was an excellent screening process, especially as a kid. I didn't have that. What I would do is I'd watch a lot. I'd see what was going on. And there was always like one or two dudes that had a big mouth that were always starting trouble with
Always,
everybody.
always,
So
always.
yeah,
That's the 90s, kid.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
was. There was always
yeah.
even the 80s too.
Right,
Somebody
right.
with the big mouth and the big bully. There always had to be that one moment. There was always the moment though. Like all
Right,
even movies tells the truth. Eventually there is that moment
right.
where somebody stands up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's the thing about comics, Al. There's that moment, right? And that moment, everything leading up to that moment is full of fear because, and I don't care if you're the strongest guy or the weakest guy, when you're about to fight and the tension of violence is coming, okay,
Yeah,
something coming down that pipe, fear boils up. And like I said, I don't care if you're the toughest, you're the weakest, we're all afraid of violence.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
And as a fighter, eventually, I learned that firsthand. Right before a fight, you get those butterflies and they start in the stomach and they,
You
they
don't
rise
want to
up into
fight,
your
but it's you or
yeah.
them, kiddo.
So that's it. It's real. It's real. So we try to capture that in everything we do. So
I love it. So talk about getting then into creative process then. So
right,
your tribe, hard to come by. Obviously, I know how the 90s were. I was lucky that within my tribe, at least I had two cats that liked what I liked too. So
right.
and these are still my two biggest homies because we're still the
Yeah,
biggest nerds.
yeah.
Look, my other homies are still in my life, but these two are still bigger in my life because we still connect through this fandom, which is
That's
funny
great.
through our lives. You
That's
know what I
great.
mean? As
That's great.
kids. So
That's
shout
wonderful.
out to Hans and 13 Crusader. Love you guys.
There
Um,
you go.
so and that's important sometimes. You need that. You need to have your little tribe to continue. Like I'm in
Right.
Florida, I have no tribe anymore. I'm trying to build because COVID fucked that up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this situation's been rough, man. That's a whole other story. But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely another story. But start talking to me about you getting and stepping finally into the creative journey. Like, what made you want to create, and what was that journey like stepping in,
Right.
especially as a Latino man? Because I know, when it's not easy for us to try to get into this type of business.
You got it, brother. So that story's got two parts, right? The first part starts in the Dominican Republic in a small village a small city called San Francisco de Macorís. And as a little kid, I stayed with my grandparents, and they had a cat. The cat's name was Missouri, and that cat got
The
into
Dominican cat named Missouri. I love it.
that cat
You're
got
fucking
in
me up,
everyone.
bro.
That cat got in everyone's yard. He had all sorts of different stories going on. I mean, man, let me tell you, if I could only tell you half the stories. One time, my cousin created a helicopter. Someone dumped a fan and left it out there, and we decided we want to make a helicopter from that fan.
No.
And we made a little we made a little helmet for Missouri.
Oh
All
my
sorts
God.
of adventure.
Bendito se puede gato.
I know, I know. And then we just, I started writing the comics because I could draw. I was good at art. So I would write all sorts of stories. Like Missouri was here today, and we did this kind of the adventures of Missouri. So everybody started loving my comics. And so I started realizing, I could actually do this and create an audience. As a kid, I was doing this, 7, 8 years old. So when I was back here in the States, in New York, in the Bronx, I had friends that loved comics too, and I was reading comics all throughout. I guess from the time I was like 6, 7, all the way till I was 18, and loved them. And I got it. I became a boxer while I was in school. I went to School of Visual Arts, which is a very good school for
Yeah.
cartooning and storytelling. And I didn't know at the time how the heavies in Marvel and DC that went there and taught there. I was in advertising. So my career took a whole different route, and I got into business and whatnot for a long time. And then COVID hit, and one of my friends is a writer, and she got a book deal. So this is 2020, and we celebrated. She's like, "Hey, you got a lot of good stuff that you've written in the past, because I am a writer too. Why don't you take that idea you had for that novel out?" And I did, and I started working on it. And in about a week in, I said, "Wait a minute, this outline that I'm writing the character sounds more like a comic book, hero protagonist, those animals, So I said, you know what? Let me kick around this outline for a week and see if I could turn it into like a comic book outline. And sure enough, everything just flowed naturally as a comic book.
Beautiful.
And so the Here Comes Calico actually started as a novel. So now, you know, we're on issue 4 right now, man, in pre-order Kickstarter. So we're
Look
loving
at
it.
you, issue 4. Look at you, like bringing it up as like this guy wants to give me the perfect segue to bring up the beautiful little Kickstarter that he is kicking ass on right now, folks.
Yeah,
Let me show
yeah,
you what's popping here. Let's show it off. All
yeah,
right.
baby.
So there you go. Look at this baby. Right
Yeah,
now, you know, there's 2,036 out of 2,582
yeah,
backers. 11 days to go. I mean,
yeah,
you're under a little under 450, little over 450, little over 450 to go.
yeah.
Nothing. This is nothing. This
That's right.
book looks fantastic, bro. You know, and
Thank
you
you.
do have a video. Actually, let me step out because I should have hit the. Let me share the audio box because I think we should show the video off. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally.
Yeah, you agree? Vamos,
Absolutely.
entonces.
Yeah,
So long as I get permission, let's do it.
What
yeah.
you're saying is totally true. So
Right.
how do people ingest?
We're hitting
Calico?
them with gut punches right to the solar plexus.
If they had this kind of storytelling at Marvel, they would be selling 100,000 copies. And I know that if
Oof.
more people heard about this Calico character, they would be buying his book and it would be flying off the shelves.
Is from Sigma Comics. This is called Here Comes Calico.
One by the name of the Calico. This is one that by the
Oh,
time I
nice.
this video, I've actually
Yeah.
got a copy of.
I did talked about this book, this company, Sigma. Here Comes Calico.
A very unique book with a very compelling hero and a great story.
I finished reading this yesterday, and oh my god! I mean, don't get me wrong. Issue 1 and 2 were great, but this one, it's like you just opened up that world so wide now. It's crazy.
We're not going or tiptoeing around Calico.
Oh my god. Guys, if you want to see this, the rest of it, you got to go to the Kickstarter project. That's it. I'm only teasing you guys. You guys got to see this so that way you can right there, folks. Look, right there. Ahí está.
Yeah,
Right, no joda. So go visit that website. You can really check out what's popping. But let's have a little tour while we're here, anyway, right?
yeah.
So, you know, we're almost there. But, oh my, Hey, cabrón, I love it. How do you like having fun like this, bro?
Yo, man, this is great. You know, the creative process is a wonderful thing. You can connect with people, you know, with art and writing, and just create that incredible inspiration on the pages of comic books, you know. And so it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it, you know.
That's so funny, man. And you got okay. So, and when it comes to prizes, we got, you know, $10 prize without a reward, right? We got the $5 scroll down for more,
Right.
$6 for a Vita's copy, $10 for collectors, $10
Yeah.
more for digital copies. Woo,
Yep.
1 through
Yeah.
4. I mean, talk about all these different and why you went this route. And again,
Right.
about this art, your team, because God,
Yeah.
yo, this is gorgeous
Yeah.
art, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll start with the team, right? So I'm the writer, and you know, HH Herman, HH German, however you want to say it, here or there. Basically, let me tell you like this: Javier Orovich is our interior writer de España, you know, Latino in the house. He's getting it done. Interior covers. That cover you're looking at right there is from Garnaviel, Colombian artist. We got an all Latino team. Yeah, all Latino team, and wonderful art there. That's right. That's right. And then Daniel Grimaldi from Venezuela. So we got the Latin team. We got the Latin team. They're getting it done. You know, they're really doing a great job, and they're making me proud. And frankly, all we hear is just incredible praise for the title. And in addition to a wonderful cause, which is fighting animal abuse, you know. Oh, there's your truly right there as a former fighter.
Hey, el campeón, wepa. What was popping here? Talk about this kiddo.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, bro.
Yeah,
Wait a minute, but you were getting down like that, bro.
Yo, listen, I wasn't lying, man. I did my thing. I was, you know, I got up there, and I was a very successful amateur boxer in the Bronx, and then I got to fight, you know, MMA. So I got hardcore. So
nice, but how was that experience, man? Would you do it again if you had another opportunity?
It was an incredible experience. I would do it again. You gotta understand when I was coming up, man. I don't know how much. I know you probably know about boxing, but MMA back in the 80s. Well, back in the 90s, let's say. It was
Remember
like
the 90s with Gracie and all these cats. Like I hated Gracie because
Right.
that fight with Shamrock was nothing but holding for like an hour. Like
Right.
Coño.
Right. Well,
Out
listen, I thought the same thing until I actually got into the octagon with one of them. Okay, I got in there with
You said, damn.
and I was like, yo, I was touring with those guys. I was touring with his cousins. Okay,
Don't say
when his
word.
cousins, when his cousins came here in the 90s, I took the brunt. I wouldn't say but fighters like me in the mid 90s, we took the biggest brunt of all of the fighters in America from that Brazilian system. Okay, and it was his family and his cousins. His cousin's family is the one that was hard here, and that was Carlson Gracie Senior and Junior. Okay, and that wing of that family was just out of control. And what they were laying down, because it's Enzo and his side of the family that with Hoist.
Yeah.
So these guys had this technique, man, and I think more so the Carlson Gracie side, they were more strikers. So you would have seen more action, and that's why there were several different events at that time. A lot of people don't realize that it wasn't just UFC. We had Pride, we had Pancreas fighting, shoot fighting, we had extreme fighting, Battlecade. We had all sorts of different.
You were part of all that, kiddo. You were rocking like that,
right? And then from where I fought, you would have legendary fighters that went on to the UFC, like Kevin Randleman. He came from my promotion. Okay, Kevin Randleman came from my promotion. Pat Miletich came from my promotion. Legendary. These are legendary UFC, fighters. And the guy I fought, Igor Zinoviev, Russian guy, he was a world champion. He beat me, and then he eventually got beat in UFC by Frank Shamrock, Ken's brother.
Gotcha.
So so I'm one step away of degree of separation from the Shamrocks.
Hey, okay, but that's all right. But hopefully you got your hits in on that mother.
Well, listen, and that dude was tough. And back then, I've never been one to use how do I say this? Special nutrition, and back then it was rampant. So I just did what I had to do, and all I could do.
I hear that. I hear you loud and clear, brother. Let me tell
you. You know what, brother? This is why I'm still walking and talking, the way I'm walking and talking. So a lot of these unfortunate brothers, they had it rough. So but we're doing something else. We're doing comics now.
Yeah, you're doing comics, but you're also doing comics with a cause.
That's right.
What's key. So why are you so passionate about, the animal cruelty?
It's the fire from the Bronx. It's what you're hearing in my voice when I talk about fighting in comics. It's the true passion for standing up for what's right. And in this case, we're trying to stand up for animals, all across the world. And a lot of us, when we have been given a skill, in my case, writing and managing a creative team, we try to look within ourselves to see what we can do. And I've thankfully reached a part in my life where I can do something, pretty good. And this is how I'm going to attack this problem. It's going to be through comics, because I have a lot of people. Let me tell you, I got thousands of people out there, people like you, people like the people who watch this show and listen to this show that love animals and love comic books. So, man, two birds, one stone, brother.
It is. So what was that whole total inspiration of making Calico being that champion?
Well, man, you ask great questions. You call me a champ before campeón, the Spanish word for champion, and that's the one regret I have in my life. I never became a champion, even though I had
You're my champion of comics, don't you worry, bro.
There you go. Listen, man, even though I had a very good record and I was good enough to reach the championship, I was never a champion. So I've always had that chip on my shoulder, and I've always wanted, I'm gonna tell you something nobody knows. You're gonna be the first one to know this. In 2020, I started the year training for Masters boxing tournaments. Okay.
No way.
Yes, I had 7 scheduled all across the country because I wanted to win a championship before I hung up the gloves. And you know what, brother? 2 weeks before the first fight, which would have been in Connecticut, Senor, your fight is canceled due to COVID. I got the same call over and over again. And then, a few months later, that's when, the lady told me about, hey, you should get that idea off the shelves with CALICO. So I switched gears, and to this day, it's like you try to train for these fights and you just keep getting cancellations. So, you know what? I made the regretful choice to hang up the gloves for good because I
man.
just can't keep doing this. The training's
And I'm
So-
sorry that it had to happen because of this fucking crazy thing that's happening in the world. I mean, so many things got stagnated, but look, God closes one door, but yet opens another.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because God's
Exactly.
good that way,
Right.
And helping people, good people like you that actually have a real mission in life to do and bring some justice and good onto the world.
So see me,
So talk about that whole storyline development, and how we got from issue 1 to now issue 4.
Right. So my best friend, he showed me a video, and without getting too graphic, I was shocked, man. I've seen some incredible things that are violent and graphic, and what this asshole was doing to this dog in the video, I wanted to kill.
You wanted to rip the screen, right?
Yeah. I wanted to find wherever that guy was, okay, and literally jam my foot all the way into his intestines, and keep doing it hard, hard with no Vaseline, Vaseline, okay. So that rage that boiled up in me, I didn't even speak when I saw that. I was silent, So I didn't get emotional because guys are like that, where you're from, you can't be. But I was gonna get emotional, and man, that rage that I felt when I saw that, that's what I'm going to put that one as issue 1. Okay. Issue 1, we're going to start with that snuff film. And that's exactly when you pick up a copy of issue 1 of Here Comes Calico, you're going to see the most monstrous thing you're ever going to see right on page 1, because I don't waste time getting right to the action. A lot of comic books today, they take time and set up story. No, we're doing this right from the get. Bam. When people open up that page, they're like, oh my God. I've seen people like frozen with terror when they open up page 1 here. Yeah, because that's how I felt. And that's what I wanted to capture on those pages. Okay. And that's what started it. Okay. And the tone is set right from page 1. And the Calico is looking for that guy. Okay. We're at issue 4 right now on pre-order on Kickstarter. And he still hasn't found him. But you know what? He's got his son. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you what's happening at this moment, but he knows where his son is. So wherever his son is, Papi's gonna be coming pretty soon. So that's what's up.
Oh shit! When you got a hot head coming for you, better be careful, man. That fire behind Double H ain't shit behind that fire that Papi got. That's for sure. I can't wait. I can't wait, bro, for these books, man. That team of yours that you've been blessed to work with. That's amazing, man. How easy though was it to really find that team? How easy was it? Or was it a task of its own?
Let me tell you, I looked at a lot of stuff. I went on a lot of sites, and it wasn't easy, but I was looking. Let me tell you what I was looking for, because again, you asked these great questions. What I was looking for, I knew it was going to be a needle in a haystack, but I said this: if I go into this process knowing that whoever's going to be the main interior illustrator for this is going to be somebody who understands how to draw New York City. And I don't mean Manhattan. I mean Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx. Okay.
Manhattan. They all look a little different.
Sure. They all look different. And the co-conspirator, okay, in Here Comes Calico is the city of New York. And I mean everything. I mean Corona, Queens. I mean Washington Heights. I mean the South Bronx. I mean, Spanish Harlem. Wherever we are, you were like, oh man, I'm in Spanish Harlem right now. We're on 106th.
I smell the cuchifritos. Where are they at?
Oh, look at what you said. Yo, speaking of cuchifrito, issue 2. There's a scene in the Bronx with the cuchifrito, right?
I love it, bro. Bringing a taste of home to comics. See, that's what's amazing about having a homegrown Latino creator that could bring that flavor that'll make me have a big smile. Then you guys are gonna wonder, what's a cuchifrito? Let me tell you, please go ahead. It is deep fried greatness.
You know what? When you put down issue 2, you're gonna want to pick up a pastel. So
get some pastel, capurias, or get some harina de papa, something, yo. Pastelillo. I'm ready, kid. I'm ready. You make it, yo, right now, me saying all that, I have a food truck, Puerto Rican food truck. I'm about to get me a pastelillo.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I love it, man. I love it. So, coming into now 2022, I know things are a little crazy because of so many variants of the COVID, but do you have any possible pre-planned Comic-Con appearances where you're going to be showing off Calico firsthand and people could see the beauty of this book, in their hands?
Well, we were actually in your, I wouldn't say hometown, but in your general area. I just came back from Otaku, Miami.
Okay. Otaku. Okay.
Otaku Fest. It's like some manga, anime, comic book kind of thing.
Okay.
Otaku. So I listen. We researched it, and it was well worth it. We had a good experience. We had a lot of people there, connecting with it. But we're gonna try to get over to the Miami SuperCon, the Florida Con.
Yeah, nice.
That's coming up.
Come on over in May. MegaCon. They got the MegaCon in Orlando, and I went for my first year last year, and that was really nice, really great for independent creators. I think you'll have a blast.
Yeah, you know what, Al? We've been deciding whether we're going to do MegaCon Orlando or Miami. I got my people, my family is in Miami, so my mom.
Familia first. Oh yeah, but you knock out 2 stones. Ahí está. When you get home, you some pernil, some good stuff. I hear you. Some
but you know what? It's what we're going to try to do is we're going to see if we can get some help so we can do 2 shows.
Nice.
So we'll see what we can do about that. But MegaCon, I heard a lot of good things. That same weekend we got Miami SuperCon. So we'll see how we do it. But look out for us in Florida. Outside of that, we're going to see if we can get into New York Comic-Con. We did Emerald City last year, so we plan on doing that again. It was great. It was a 4-day show, which, man, I did that show by myself, and let me tell you,
abandonaron.
Yeah, no, I know, man. So, but listen, we're young in this. We're not even 2 years old into this industry, so
man, y'all still but great baby steps, and look at you, what you already have achieved. God bless. That's amazing.
It's thanks to people like you, man, spreading the word and getting that love that we need in order to, every child, I don't care where you're from, what's your background, every child needs love, right? So if you're going to be a creation, then, you could say that you're doing this alone, which we say as Sigma Comics, because we don't have, we don't follow anybody. But the truth is that we need the support of everybody, to get to where we're going. So we appreciate all of you. So,
and before we go, just a little bit, what is Sigma Comics and when was it established? And is it only Calico, or are we going to get more out of this label?
Right. Well, we're hoping to do more. Our first flagship title is Here Comes Calico, and that's our foundation. We're telling people we really want to start with something really good. And I think that's the problem with comics today. Some of them, and maybe a lot of them, are kind of watered down. And we don't want that. We want a solid, concrete, concentrated mix as our foundation, so that when you put a foot on this to go up, it's solid. So we're going to focus on Here Comes Calico, get that first 8-issue series out, make sure it's gangbusters, really good and powerful. And Sigma Comics, because the Sigma male philosophy is that mindset. The Sigma mindset is individualistic. We don't follow. We're just as strong as the alphas. But we don't need followers. We don't need followers, or we don't follow anybody. We know what we're going to do. If you guys want to join us, that's great. But we're going to keep fighting. If we start seeing people pulling away from the fight, we're going to punch harder. We're not going to start, moving back, because we know what the cause is. We know what the mission is, and we love everybody being on our side. But if you're not going to be on our side, we're going to keep doing this, regardless.
Don't matter, man. Sigma Comics is here to stay.
That's right.
This comes from MMA fighter, so if you don't like it, go ahead, say something. You're gonna get like I said, but something gonna happen.
left hook body.
Hey, there you go. You gotta check out this amazing Kickstarter. It is live right now. It has 11 days to go, folks. And look, this is how close they are. Get her done. Help an amazing Latino creator in the business. Support. POC creators like him. I mean, homie's doing it, man. Fellow Latino, I feel proud, bro. Thank you for coming on and showing me. Look at you. From one fight to another, you ain't afraid, bro. So you are a champion. You better believe it, bro. There ain't no regret. You are a champ, bro. If I could make a damn belt for you, I would.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Listen, man, thank you so much for having me here and talk to you and your audience, because this is a wonderful cause. Support Here Comes Calico. Here Comes Calico on Kickstarter. And it's thanks to Omega and the team getting it done for comics. You know, just like me, you know, we're fighting for animals and through comics. You're fighting for comics, man, because, you know, it's a battle, you know, and we appreciate what you're doing with the show. So thank you so much for doing what you do.
I appreciate that. Crusaders are here to crusade for people like you that are just amazing. So again, before we go, my flowers to you. Thank you for being bold and brave, bro, for sharing of your journey, man. Not many people are brave enough to do that. And to all the haters, is just MFS. You know what I mean? Middle finger salute, pa carajo. You know what I mean? Because, you know, don't talk shit if you ain't doing it. You know, praise people like this because they're bold enough to entertain you. And you're here putting out stories, you know, that have a great social narrative, but it still has such a great fantasy aspect that you get angry, you want to support what's going on, but at the same time, you're still taking us away into this other crazy world. So, you know, thank you for making our mind go all different ways, but also providing us with some deep thought about something that actually really matters in the world. Because animals, these are our pets, people. You know what I mean? Where are we without our babies, our little doggies, and our kitties and birds and so forth? You know what I mean?
Right. That's it, brother. That's
Those
it, brother.
Of our families, man.
That's it.
Right? So with that, again, check it out. Kickstarter is live now. 11 days ago. Please support the project. Please visit the website so you can get issues 1 through 3. Please. Yes. All right, support. Pick them up, man. Get them in print. Get them in digital. Get them however you need them. But guess what? You need them in your life, especially if you are a person that loves animals and you are about that cause. I mean, support something good while you're reading something great. And with that, thank you, Double H. I appreciate it. Mi gente, thanks for tuning in. Alto tells you what to do. Hasta la próxima. Wepa! Bye. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.